Hi everybody, this is Todd with the Forex Nitty Gritty Insiders Daily video. Hope everybody is doing well. We are at the end of another week, believe it or not. It's hard to believe how fast things go. Kind of an interesting week. We had some big moves and then kind of been flat towards the end of the week. What we're going to do today is our weekly review of what's happening and what we might see going forward. So we're going to take a look at some key points of trend and support and resistance. And one of the reasons why we do this is because with the simple trading method, there are two primary things that we need to take into consideration before we look at an entry, and that would be the trend. And the trend simply means the direction that things have been moving. And then we need to look for support or resistance. And so within these things, we want to look for signs of weakness with the trend. So if the trend looks like it's weakening, or there's some signs that there's maybe a change in the direction that might be happening, we want to keep that in mind, and we want to look for those areas where there may be a barrier to movement. And so we'll take first here the Euro-US dollar, and you can see that we've had a pretty good uptrend here. I'm going to flatten this out a little bit, and we'll zoom out just a hair here. Zoom in just a hair, and you can see the pattern that we've made. Nice movements here. This week you can see that we had a big move up, settling back just a little bit here, and we'll see if that how long that lasts. There's a couple things here in relationships to support or resistance. It's a little bit difficult to get a real strong assessment on. But we kind of have a double top here where we had a point, drop, moved up, tried to move down again, and then move back up. And so we may be sitting in an area here where we see a little bit of resistance coming into play, some pressure to sell here, and a pressure coming in to sell. Now, the important thing to note is that when the market is in a strong uptrend, that these areas are broken a little more easily than if it's not. And so, arrow a little bit better there. So that's one thing that we have to take into consideration, almost a triangle type of a pattern. Now, the other thing that we want to look at is that sometimes these areas can act as a support also. And so we may be seeing it holding support here. And this is where we really get into the kind of those triangle patterns where it consolidates and moves sideways. And we look for opportunities for that support or that resistance to be held or be broken in order to know when to trade. Now, as we get these pullbacks, and when we talk about the simple trading method, we're really looking for the times where it does pull back, and then we're looking for that HH3 to kind of take over, where we get in as it breaks up above the highest high of the last three. So right now we're getting a little bit of a pullback. Looking for a movement back up would be where we'd look to enter into this position. So that's an example of what we want to do with all of the charts. And as we go through, and as you go through with your routine of looking at what's going on with each of these, you want to take those things into consideration. So here, some resistance. Here's some support. We've got a wide range here. We could look at this area from back in here as a possible area where there may be some resistance to movement. So, a little bit flatter on the Aussie dollar. US Swiss franc, it's opposite of the Euro dollar, trending down, and we could, draw our trend line this way. We could put the same support or resistance areas on that, basically. Pound dollar, we again, a little less of a move up this last time, but if we drew our lines on here for support resistance, we'd probably look at an angled area here to find where that is. US Japanese yen, pretty flat and choppy. We are moving back up within, if we look at our ranges here, looking at a movement back up towards the resistance area within that range. And last but not least, we've got the US CAD. And you can see we've got downward support that's been broken. And also right here acted as some support. So this is starting to move back up. I think we're probably at a key level right in here where it's trying to break out of. Anyway, that's what we want to do. We want to be able to identify on the longer term charts the direction that things are headed and how we can trade those. And knowing this information in particular is going to be key to understanding the direction that we should be taking those simple trading method entries into. So for now, take that. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll be back on Monday to see how things continue to move. Until then, take care and have a great weekend. Thanks.